Welcome everyone, Madman bringing another RSL video. So today I want to discuss the Faehammer Titan event, but before we do that, since it's for Thor, let's go actually take a look at Thor. Alright, so Thor, here we go, A1, attacks 2 times, has a 20% chance of repeating the attack, decreases the target's turn meter by 10% for each hit. Attacks all enemies, damage increases, stacks up to 100%, will ignore block damage and unkillable. Alright, is A3, increase attack, increase crit damage on himself for 2 turns, booked up to 100% chance of permanently decreasing the resistance on enemies by 10%, stacking up to 50%. Same thing, booking to 100% of placing a 30% decreased speed on all enemies for 2 turns. And then he has a passive. Every time he deals damage, increases the thunder counter by 10. This helps increases damage great. Once he hits 10, attacks all enemies and places a stun for 1 turn. And then it goes back down to 0. So, alright, he's attack based. Same, let's assume Hydra. 10% turn meter does nothing. This doesn't require any accuracy. Alright, most likely anybody else in the comp that you're building is going to be built with enough accuracy if they are placing debuffs. So I don't know how much decreased resistance is going to be of benefit. The decreased speed is nice, but he's attack based. He's your damage dealer. Do you really want to sacrifice potential damage just to land that decreased speed debuff? It's the only one you got. You might go that route, but hopefully you're not there. And then his passive, stun. Stun doesn't do anything to the boss. Alright, now you can apply that same logic to Doom Tower bosses or any of the dungeon bosses such as Dragon Spider or whatnot. So to me, no need for accuracy. Now let's think about it in terms of wave clearing. Hopefully you got somebody that's either controlling or clearing better or faster than him, because decreased speed doesn't do you much good. If you're getting to the point where you're doing stun, you're not doing enough damage quick enough anyway, so 1 turn might help a little bit, but you're probably in trouble there as well. So then that begs the difference of arena, whether it be live arena, classic arena, or whatever the hell. Alright, if you're attacking 10 times, you're probably toast already. Decrease speed, decrease resistance, not real big arena debuffs. So again, you are either dead or they're dead when it comes to arena. So you want to build them for attack. Just build them for damage, maybe a little bit of survivability. I don't see any need for accuracy. Maybe a little bit of resistance, whatnot. So that begs the question, alright, is it worth going for the 5-star? To me, no. But let's go ahead now and actually look at the Titan event. Okay, so we got that going. A little less than a week to go. So 100 points to get to the 1-star, which is nice. At least it gives you a starting point here. But the rest of this stuff, considering the resources, okay, you're not really spending that much resources yet to get to that point. But now once you jump up to 300 points for the 2-star, you're starting to spend a lot more resources there to get there. And it gets worse for the 3-star, especially when you need 600 points to get to the 3-star. Now 4-star to me is the sweet spot here. You're finally starting to get into some decent rewards. Void Shard has great potential. It's always nice to get a Mortal Soul Stone, and definitely a Legendary Tome is useful. The Chaos Ore can or cannot be useful. You're getting some decent oils there and extract, and I guess a reasonable amount of dust. But the 4-star is the big one because for an attack-based champion, you have now gained the HP attack and defense stance that you want, and you've now hit the bonus crit damage. Yes, at 6-star you get a little speed, but at 5-star you don't. So moving on to the 5-star, now you got to get 1500 points. The rewards get a little bit better. Avatar is worthless to me. I don't really care about avatars, but if you like that kind of thing, well, more power to you. Barrel's useless to me. 5-star check-in. At this point, it's kind of useless to me. The Chaos Ore is definitely of interest there. The Primal Shard. The Eternal Soul coins are nice, so is the Chaos Powder and the Mythical Tome. These are some decent rewards here, but you've spent quite a bit of resources to get here. Remember, you've pretty much done another fusion, and to me, that extra accuracy and or resistance, not really necessarily worth going to the 5-star. The point of maybe going to the 5-star, if you have the resources, great, go for it. If not, your only other reason to go for the 5-star is so that you're that much closer to the 6-star when it does show up in the shop. But we know it takes quite a while to build up those resources. Alright, so how do we get to this point? Well, they said in the first week, 1,010 points are available, which leaves 740 left. Alright, so how do we get here? Well, I'm not going to show you the schedule, but the first week, there is 1,010 points up for grabs. We know we're getting 100 points from Odin, 200 points from Summer Rush is available, and at this point, 80 points for Artifact Enhancement is available. We do know there will be a Classic Arena, a Dragon, most likely Turn Attack Tournament, a Fire Knight, most likely again Turn Attack Tournament, Champion Training, Dungeon Diver, and Champion Chase. Now, based on the past, that has added up to 955 points. So we got to come up with another 55 points. I'm going to bank that instead of your standard 25 points for Classic Arena, they're going to bump it up to 30. And then either Dungeon Divers is getting bumped up to 150 points instead of a standard 100, or a Spider or Ice Golem tournament that we would typically assign from next week is getting pulled over into this week because they left us hanging on Monday and Tuesday in the calendar. Unless they decide to throw some surprise thing in, like maybe another Odin trial, which I kind of doubt, because I doubt they would do one for 50 points if they're doing one for 100 right now. Champ Chase could potentially have some more, but I don't know. Alright, let's go look what they changed. Real quick, Artifact Enhancement. Here's what they changed. They now put 80 points up for grab instead of 75. Typically somewhere around the 1,500 to 2,000 mark, they'd put 25 points in, and at the 47.75, they would put the other 50 to give you a total of 75. So they bumped that up, but that's quite a bit of requirements more just to get those extra 5 points. And you got to do it or you lose out on 60. So a little sneaky there. Next, Summon Rush. Alright, during this Summon Rush, you get 25 points here, 75 here, and 100 here at the 45 threshold. So 9 Sacreds will get you 200 points. So there's 200 points available in this, like I said, for 9 Sacreds. Now typically the Champ Chase goes up to 5,500. That could cost you 11 Sacreds if you have the worst luck, and some people are going to have the worst luck. It depends on what you want to pull or whatnot. So I am probably going to go for the Summon Rush. I want to at least get to the 4-star. You're also getting bonus points for Ancients, so I might pull a very small amount of Voids, quite a few Ancients, and not as many Sacred Shards. I just want to get the 200 points. I don't need the fragments. I've already done the Thor fusion. While this book would be nice, I don't know if I want to sacrifice one more Sacred or quite a few more of the other shards just to get to there. I'm definitely not pushing past this legendary tome no matter what. I don't want to use up my resources that much. Now, why do I think the Summon Rush is a better route and potentially skip the Champ Chase? Potentially. Well, I am sitting at 249 Ancient Shards at 40 a pop, 63 Voids. I have 25 Sacred Shards. If I use 5 of the Sacred Shards, that's only 2250. I can use, say, 3 of these Void, and that leaves me like 20 or 30 Ancients I just need to pull. I could supplement a few of those with Mystery Shards. So then I can get to 200 points. I also, personally, don't like to leave points on the front end. I would rather have all the points I needed and be able to skip something on the back end than leave something on the front end going for the back end and it not turn out the way I do, especially since we're going blind into the second week. Will there be a deck of fate, and will it require shards? Will there be a path of light? Will it require shards? So we know there's going to be a deck of fate. If it's shards, I want to maintain at 20 so that I complete it. Now, if there is, say, a deck of fate, we don't necessarily know that Freya would be in it. So I'm going to assume if there is a deck of fate, time's running out, that it will contain Freya, because putting 2 deck of eights in that quick of a time frame, that would be pretty low. Now, it could be a path of light, and that path of light could be shards. It could be, lately they've been liking to do the soul stones. They've also treated it like an artifact enhancement / dungeon diver. So you're getting the gear and then leveling it up to get the path of light points. So they've also done getting gear, so like a dungeon diver, and then leveling up the gear, so like an artifact enhancement, and those are the requirements to get points in the path of light. So you just don't know what they're going to do at the end there, and I want to try and maintain as many sacreds as possible. So Champ Chase being random, I could probably do that, but I don't want to sacrifice too many ancient shards, and I'm trying not to touch void. I want to potentially get to 200, because usually at the end of the year, which is still 3 months away, they put a guaranteed void legendary out there that's worthwhile, such as King Narcissus this past Christmas time, that I didn't have 200 void shards, so pretty much I was screwed without them without spending money, and I ain't spending that kind of money, and I don't spend my money on shards, because that is totally wasteful. Alright, I'm not paying $500 for King Narcissus, just not going to do it. He's not that great into the game. He's not going to change my account. It's not a, oh my god, account changing champion. And $500, really? There are a lot of better things I can do than that. So that all being said, I want to maintain the shards because I would like to get Freya. So that begs the question again, Summon Rush or Champ Chase? The other part with the Summon Rush, time's running out, but today Teox is up for grabs. I got Vizix on my free-to-play account, I believe. Don't really use him. Teox would be great. The kid on this new one here looks pretty decent too, so he could be pretty solid there. Why are you not scrolling down? So I'd like to go for that, but chances are pretty slim anyway. But that's my thought process. Go for at least a 4-star if you went for the fusion and you have the resources to do it. Even if you have the resources, I don't know if going for the 5-star is worth it. And the question to me with the 6-star and everything that's required is, you're basically doing another fusion. Especially if you go for the 5-star. You are doing another fusion, maybe even worse. Think about the amount of shards you're going to have to pull. I mean, potentially here, yes, you're going to get Freya, but we're talking, I'm pulling 25 sacreds. Holy crap. And that's between 2 events. So that leaves me nothing really for Champ Chase. You're going to spend all kinds of energy doing the dragon or whatever. And you actually spend, I will spend a lot less on the turn-based tournaments. But I'll still have to spend a whole lot more because dungeon divers are going to require that I go actually above and beyond. So there's that as well. So you're going to spend quite a bit of energy. So 4-star worth it, 5-star I don't think so in my opinion. Now I might go for the 5-star or I might just let the chips fall where they may between getting the 4-star and if I end up with the 5-star or not. That's my thoughts. My question for you is, do you agree or not agree? Of course, you don't have to comment or whatever. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. It's more a rhetorical question to ask yourself. Is the 5-star worth it if I have the resources? Only you can decide that. But I want to put that out there and my thoughts as to why I'm going to go for the Summon Rush now and not wait for the Champ Chase. But there's my breakdown there. One other thing I did want to kind of mention here real quick, as far as the event going on. Week 2, most likely a Deck of Fate, probably a second Classic Arena and Artifact Enhancement. There will be Spider Nog, Ice Golem, but one of them might be pushed and considered in this first week, so we don't know. Most likely there's going to be a champion training event. There's usually an event and a tournament. And then there will be a secondary dungeon diver, but there could be potentially a Path of Light instead of a dungeon diver. You don't know. And we're still kind of short on points, so I don't know. They could throw in a third champ training. They might double up on 2 or even all 4 dungeons, but since they only put 2 in this week, I'm going to assume they do 2 next week, and most likely a Path of Light might be added on with the Deck of Fate, so that could be interesting. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully it was thought-provoking. Have a nice day.